Okay, I got it. Wonderful. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hurricane Washington is here with your latest update on the winter weather and severe weather for Southeast Texas and South Central Texas. I am joined by my friend Bobby, who I recently met at my college today, and he's also a weather enthusiast, and he is now part of the team. We are both going to be talking about the severe weather and the winter weather aspect of what's going to be happening over the next several days. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, so as he's mentioned, my name is Bobby. I usually specialize in severe storms, usually ones that you normally see. Like, I always look at the radars. I'm always analyzing the radars. On top of that, I try to forecast where these storms go. That way, people who will ever watch these will be notified of exactly where I strongly believe where they go, and I kind of line up with what other people say. So that way, it is not just my 2 cents; it is also people's. It's also like the professionals' 2 cents in it as well. So
Yes, yeah, he specializes in severe weather. I personally specialize in tropical weather. I'm actually learning more about severe weather and winter weather because I do want to do more research on that in the future and actually maybe even intercept a few winter storms in the future. But currently, right now, South Central Texas is under a winter storm warning. Corpus Christi area, Rockport, Port Lavaca area. Just to the north of that, there's a winter weather advisory in the San Antonio area. So in this area, we may see actual trace areas of snow accumulations. There will be a few ice accumulations, but only a few hundredths of an inch. So ice is going to be very, very, very thin. Snow accumulations will generally be less than an inch. That is in South Central Texas. Southeast Texas, right now, there is no winter weather advisory. However, right now, at the moment, there is, in fact, a winter, or not a winter, but a severe storm watch, I think.
yes. So as of right now, currently, let me just pull up of exactly where it is at. Just 1 second. So there's a severe thunderstorm watch, including southeast Texas into eastern Texas, most of the west, north, and northeastern Louisiana, and the far western part of Mississippi, and the most southern parts of Arkansas. There is, however, currently one severe thunderstorm warning, and that is currently over. I'm going to butcher the name. Shiverport, Louisiana right now. And that is currently the only severe storm that we have going on at the moment.
I'm actually looking at it right now. I think it's pronounced Shreveport.
Shreveport. I'm so sorry.
It's alright. I know some of the towns in the southern United States can be hard to pronounce, like New Braunfels.
Yes.
But yes, I do see that is actually producing a huge amount of rain, moving, looks like to the northeast.
It looks like it will pass through the northern part of Shreveport.
Yeah, to the northern part. Yeah, because it does appear like there's certainly a lot of heavy rain. Today, I actually, I saw some heavy thunderstorms. Thankfully, I did not get hit by any hail, but I did see a few hail pours today, which was pretty interesting. Very, very fascinating stuff. But, nothing severe. I don't think there's been any confirmed tornadoes in the Houston area. But lots of heavy rain. In these cells, and these thunderstorms do produce a lot of heavy rain in a very short amount of time. It is something I am a little bit worried about because Houston does flood very easily. But I think we should be fine. We got to watch out for that cold front because the temperatures tonight are going to drop very, very quickly. And tomorrow, our highs will only be in the mid-40s for the day. Right now I'm watching, there's actually some snow in North Texas, near Amarillo. But the snow for Houston and South Central Texas will actually come from a disturbance from the East Pacific, moving over the northern Gulf of Mexico, where precipitation, and there should be enough moisture in the atmosphere to allow for some sort of winter precipitation across south central, possibly even southeast Texas. We'll have to closely monitor what will actually happen, because again, these storms are so unpredictable because it has to happen at exactly the right moment. If you get the upper level, if you get the disturbance before the cold front, it'll just be rain. If it happens too late, it will just be cold rain. It has to happen at exactly the right time, where it's super cold and you have that moisture coming through, where we could see some wintry precipitation. I'm going to take a look at models. Right now, the models have been not the most reliable. The GFS is showing hardly anything developing at all. Hardly anything. Although later in the forecasting, much later, they're actually showing a pretty big winter storm coming through Texas. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
So that's extremely.
Of course, as we all know with weather, we have to, of course, take anything above further than 120 hours. We do have to take a grain of salt. We're not, in no means are we trying to say that, hey, there's going to be some snow coming in early February. However, we are saying that we cannot rule out the possibility of a possible snowstorm, at least in the central Texas region. Of course, as we get more models information, especially when we get closer to the time to February 4th, we will, of course, have more of an idea.
Absolutely. Right now, I mean, this is over 370 hours, so the chance of this happening is really low. Is there the possibility? There is certainly the possibility, but we are going to wait for this to be more closer to the current time period, because, again, it's just so far out. It's too far out. There's so many things that can change right now. Atmospheres, changes all the time. Even with this next winter storm that's coming up, literally by tomorrow evening into early hours of Friday, it could still change. It may not even happen at all. So it all depends on the timing, when the moisture gets here, how cold, when it gets here, is the cold front passing through. So even in this next system, we really don't know 100% what's going to happen. Right now, there is a good idea that in the south central Texas, there's going to be winter weather occurring. Now, right now, we do want to talk a little bit about the tornado and severe weather portion of this. So, let's see.
From what I have been able to figure out, so far none of the storms currently have any potential of showing any indication of tornadoes at the very moment, but we cannot rule out maybe an isolated tornado or two.
That's still possible right now.
However, it just looks like conditions are not favorable.
Yeah.
Your biggest chance will be wind and hail, but I do see that the the Storm Prediction Center is indeed calling for a 5% chance of tornadoes on the border of Texas and Louisiana.
Interesting. Is that... Oh, this is the Weather Prediction Center?
This is the Weather Prediction Center. This is, of course, the Day 1 convective outlook. It only shows a slight, but of course we all know that even when it's a slight risk, some of these storms are capable of producing tornadoes, especially at night.
I see. Let me see. Take a look at this. Oh yeah, I see what I see.
Also, not to leave out our friends up in the north. There's a bunch of wind chill warnings and advisories. Just if there's anyone from up there that watches us, just prepare for some heavy cold. I know y'all are probably sick and tired of the cold right now, but just bear with it. We're halfway through winter, and we'll be out of this eventually. Trust me. I know y'all have had too many negative degree days, and I know that y'all are basically ready for it to warm up again.
Yeah, it is. And let me see. Wow. Yeah, that cold front. This is actually very strange, but yeah, that cold front is now making its way through central Texas and making its way through South Texas right now. So I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen with this right now. They're showing some freezing rain possible through Arkansas, Tennessee, northern Mississippi, Alabama, extreme northwest Georgia, so Tennessee, Kentucky, that whole area, southern Indiana, southern Ohio, southern Illinois, southeast Missouri, and extreme east Oklahoma. You see some wintry freezing rain is possible. We'll have to watch and see what happens with that, because that, I mean, it's really going to affect Tennessee. Tennessee Valley is going to be affected by that. I do think there's like an upcoming winter storm in the Carolinas, I think.
Yes. So currently, the people in Carolina are currently on a winter storm watch. Some of the places, of course, include Raleigh, Goldsboro, Kinston. Also, in some parts of I'm sorry, I gotta get back to it. So like South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia all have chances of
winter weather.
Of heavy snow soon. Yes. Also in the Northeast, of course, in Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, that area are currently under a winter weather advisory.
And believe it or not, Mississippi and Louisiana is actually under a winter weather advisory at the moment. Baton Rouge area, Houma, Louisiana, Covington, Poplarville, Gulfport, Mississippi. They're all under a winter weather advisory. They're saying the National Weather Service in Baton Rouge and New Orleans and Baton Rouge is saying that freezing rain is expected. Total ice accumulations of a light glaze, generally less than 1/10 of an inch. All of southwest and coastal Mississippi, portions of southeast Louisiana, including North Shore, Metro Baton Rouge, and the river parishes. This will occur around 6 p.m. Thursday to noon Central Time Friday. So tomorrow evening into the noon hours of Friday is when this will be occurring. So there could be some light accumulations. We need to watch out for ice on bridges. So if you're driving, if you're driving over bridges and overpasses, those are the most vulnerable roads that will be affected because you get cold air above the bridge and cold air below the bridge. It's surrounded by cold air. You get some freezing rain occurring on there. They will freeze relatively quickly. So those are going to be areas that are going to freeze very quickly. So if you don't have to get out, or if you do have to get out, try to avoid the bridges if you can, because those are going to be the areas that are going to be affected the most. Bridges, the roads on the ground probably won't get as much ice, but again, they are saying some less than 1/10 of an inch of like glaze of ice is possible. So try to stay home if you can for Thursday evening into the morning hours and late morning hours of Friday. So try to stay home during those if you can, and also just be careful when traveling. So if you're traveling, try to be careful. These roads, this is very, very dangerous. When you have black ice, is incredibly dangerous. So I'm gonna see what they're actually, everything that they're saying.
Yeah, and another thing is that over in the East Coast, they've been getting hammered by warm and cold, and so they have snow over there, and currently it's kind of in a warming trend, and so you're going to see some of that snow melt over near the Carolinas, over by the East Coast, and eventually it'll freeze back over, and that will create a lot of hazards of black ice all over the roads, So just be very careful when out on the roads. If you live in the east, if you live in the deep south, prepare for some heavy thunderstorms followed by some possible freezing rain. On top of that, as over in the northwest, we have another looks like powerful, very strong low pressure system about to make landfall. It is currently affecting portions in Canada, currently, Vancouver, it's almost there to places like Seattle, so and that will be our next massive system.
There's actually also one right behind. Well, there's one actually, one over the North Central Pacific Ocean, and it's actually relatively well defined. You can easily see the center circulation.
You can. So it is.
It's incredible. Wow.
It is. It's just the day and age that we live in with the weather like this. It's amazing that you get to see stuff that's this well defined with how much technology has advanced our abilities to see these storms in real time almost. On top of that, it's just.
Yeah, the satellite. Even 30 years ago in the mid '90s, was nothing like this. I mean, you couldn't see high resolution photos of hurricanes and be able to actually see metavortices in the eye. Not metavortices, but like little vortices in the eye.
Yes,
which is incredible. So let's see. So there is snow occurring in northern Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas right now. There is this disturbance that is producing snow in Ohio, in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, Tennessee, Arkansas, Oklahoma. So I mean, there's all this snow there, and then you're gonna have this cold front which is making its way through the Houston, well, not quite through the Houston area, soon to be making its way through the Houston area very soon. It's going to really drop the temperatures very fast and very quickly, very rapidly. Right now, I do believe there is some rotation just to the west of the woodlands. Hail size is half an inch, moving east-northeast at 18 knots.
There is currently a system moving about, let's see the location here, Sealy, Texas. It is moving east-northeast, and it currently has a special weather statement. They have also mentioned that there is winds of axis of 30 miles an hour and pea-size hail. Of course, this is all radar indicated. Locations impacted include Katy, Jersey Village, Sealy, Brookshire, Addicks Park 10, Spring Branch West, Spring Branch North, Hokley, San Felipe, Pattison, Cypress, West Branch, and Monaville. Those are currently in this special weather advisory, which will last between now until 7:15.
Wow. Wow. So there is that he just mentioned, and I mean a lot of these storms have had hail cores. So most of all these little cells that have developed have had some sort of hail, and that's something you got to be careful of. Now thankfully it isn't very big, but go up farther north during the tornado season, there'll be softball sized hail if you're lucky. But there has been hail throughout the day. I mean, the atmosphere is very, very unstable. Haven't seen a tornado. No tornadoes have developed, but their gusty winds are going to continue. I think they're saying 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts today.
Yes, they should be kind of like barely getting into severe potential. But other than that, yeah. And also, there's another special weather statement for a cell northeast of. I'm trying to make sure I don't mispronounce it. I think Lufkin, Texas, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is one system there that is a well-defined hail core on radar, which is moving northeast, and currently there is no rural areas. It's just rural areas, no major cities in here. But if I zoom in here, places like Chirano is right on the edge of this thing. So, and it's producing some pretty gusty winds and potentially pea-sized hail at least.
Wow. That's incredible. But yeah, you can clearly see. Okay, content of copyright. Okay. Wonderful. Now I'm getting a thing from this website I'm using. The content is copyright by the blah 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 group. Okay. I'm gonna wait for this radar image to load.
I am also monitoring a very, very prominent, what seems pretty prominent thunderstorm that seems to be marching towards the woodlands, which is the one that he had mentioned earlier. It still shows some signs of very slight rotation.
Yeah, that could be bad. Yeah, there it is. Right. Yeah. So there aren't any severe storms, or extreme storms. Most of them are either moderate or heavy, which produces very, very heavy rain, small hail. You can kind of see the hail pour right here. Small hail, gusty winds. No tornadic activity today at all.
Not yet.
Not yet. You know, there have been some areas that we have seen some spin in the atmosphere, but no funnel clouds at all.
And I would like to also mention that the storm. Let's see. I need to go back to Shreveport. The storm over by Shreveport has. They have canceled the severe thunderstorm warning, and it is now just downgraded to a special weather statement.
Oh, interesting.
As I look at on radar, it is very, very unorganized. It is currently going. There is a heavy rain in multiple parts of the Shreveport area. But it seems like this storm actually, what happened to it is that it kind of broke apart on itself, and it has split into two main areas, one to the south, one to the northeast.
Oh, wow. Do you know good radar good radar websites?
Well, I will say I normally just use AccuWeather. I also use the Weather Channel, but I also use National Weather Service radar, and usually I just use what I can.
Let's see what AccuWeather has to offer.
But yeah, I can confirm that there is currently. Let's see. Right, let me just refresh the page here. Oh no, I might be wrong. Okay, so that storm the storm that has moved away from Lufkin has become severe thunderstorm warned. It is currently over Wadden, I'm sorry. Still expected to go over Chirano and move pretty quickly.
Let's see.
It'll move pretty quickly to the northeast.
Oh wow, you can really see how it developed over time. And what it's generally expected to do in the future.
Yes, it does seem like there's going to be some sort of it's going to continue to produce some more hail. Yeah, I would not be surprised if this continues. And by the way, the severe thunderstorm watch over at least southeast Houston and eastern southeast Texas and Eastern Texas, is expected to expire in about 42 minutes.
All right. I wonder what the National Weather Service is going to say about that. It's a big storm to the east of Beaumont. All the way from Beaumont, looks like, to the Quincy. Wow, look at that. Beaumont, Texas, southeast Texas area. Pretty big thunderstorm.
Yeah, it looks like definitely probably has some gusty winds with the way it's straight, but of course they don't seem to be any they don't seem to have anything for it at the moment, so it looks like it's just gonna stay as locally heavy rain.
These types of storms would be perfect to have WSB3 because I could track every single storm if I wanted to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I could track it. I could see, where it's going to go, where it's going to be. I could see the rotation in it if I wanted to. I could see how tall it is. That would really help me get an idea of the possibility of better idea if it actually has a hail core, or if it has because some of those smaller storms, like you said earlier, 60, 70,000 feet. Those are the storms that have a bigger and better possibility with creating tornadoes.
Yeah, because there's just so much energy into the updraft that eventually it starts leaning, and you'll notice that it'll start. The entire storm rotates.
Yeah, but like with what I have now, it's the only way I can tell if there really is a hail core is based on the radar. Usually where you see the pinks, that's the area where you're most likely gonna have a hail core. But WSV3 is like $240 a year.
Yeah, it's crazy. Also, I do want to mention, just because these show that there are hail signatures on these, that does not mean that they are currently producing hail. Most of the time when there's small size hail, you will be able to see kind of like a white, like if it's out in the day and all that stuff, like you can go outside as long as you're safe. You can always look up, and like if you see a storm go by, usually if you see a very weak hail core, you'll see kind of like a whitish color, and then it'll turn to gray, meaning that the hail has melted on the way down, because hail is indeed a type of ice.
Yes. I actually had to explain this to my friends, because my friend thought that sleet was hail. Hail is creating the updrafts of severe thunderstorms. Sleet is just it comes down at the top areas of the atmosphere. It may be freezing, so it may come down as a snow. Then there may be a pocket of warm air, and it will melt. And then there'll be a pocket of really cold air near the surface, and it will freeze, and it will be an ice pellet.
So sleet is basically kind of like when you go out when you go outside, like it's a slush. Sleet is slush because it's half melted, half frozen. Mm-hmm. However, ice is extremely dangerous, because basically ice it forms from freezing rain.
Mm-hmm. You'll be able to tell, because ice it bounces. If you look at the roof or you look at a hard object when it's falling, you'll see it'll be bouncing around like little pebbles.
Yeah, hail is not to be messed with. If you're outside, always seek shelter when there is hail forecasted to be around, especially if it is severe thunderstorm warned, which usually means that at least there's a good chance for at least dime-sized hail, but sometimes it's also a storm can go severe warned if they produce a lot of lightning in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, wow. They'd be really, really, those hailstorms are absolutely incredibly dangerous, especially during tornado season up north. You can get, God, I think, isn't the biggest hail like 11 inches in diameter or something? Something crazy.
Yeah, I think it was All right. So basically, the heavy. Okay. So the largest recorded here in the United States was an 8-inch in diameter, and it was recorded in Vivian, South Dakota, on July 23rd, 2010. However, there is a heavier hailstone that was found in Bangladesh back in April of 1986, which weighed into about 2.25 pounds.
Okay, what else do I need to cover? We've talked about the rain, we've talked about the severe storms, we've talked about the tornadoes, we've talked about the possibility of hail, we've talked about the possibility of strong 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts, we talked about the storm warnings, are there any comments? Probably not. Not any comments at all. I'm gonna need to make a thumbnail later.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Is there anything else I should cover?
For the most part, that's basically everything.
I actually see the possibility of some rain developing. They're saying some possible rain could be developing at 7:45 near Austin. Oh, that's very, very interesting. Here, let me share my screen so you can see what I'm doing. Oh my lord, this is slow. Screen 2.
I am noticing a heavy band of rain currently making its way to China, Texas.
What part?
China, Texas. It's a little town just west of Beaumont on Highway 90.
Highway 90. West of Beaumont?
West of Beaumont on Highway 90, there's a little town called China. It looks like the edge of the storm has made it to that town. Currently, it is current towns that are currently being affected by the storm would be Meeker, and on the other side, because they just went through it, would be Westbury.
Wow. I see Meeker. I see Westbury right there. To the north, it looks like it's a is that northeast? Maybe it's just northeast of China's Texas. Oh,
Yes.
Northeast of Nome. Okay. That's east northeast. Wow, that's
I do need to refresh my page here because it is about 20 minutes old now. Because at that point, at 20 minutes, that's a long time. It could have already went through.
processing. Hold on. I think the severe thunderstorm watch is going to expire here at 7 o'clock.
Yes, indeed. So the severe thunderstorm watch will expire at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time.
All right, which is just around half an hour. Roughly, it's like 32 minutes.
However, the storm over in Sealy has actually a well-defined hail signature on the radar.
interesting because they're showing bits of energy developing north of San Antonio, and it almost looks like that by that point. I don't know if that's still part of the cold front, and that's like they're showing that to be around 7:30, 7 o'clock, 7. Right there north of San Antonio. I don't know if that's part of the cold front.
The thing about the cold front is that this one seems to be pushing the moisture ahead of everything, ahead of it. So really there isn't very much moisture to go with, but from what I can see, if we go look at the temperatures, look at the surface temperature.
Oh yeah, I can do windy for that. For surface temperatures. Oh, look at that.
You would be able to notice a very massive difference in temperature because this is a very frigid cold front.
Yeah.
So yeah, currently, as of what it looks like, currently the cold front is currently making its way, is just past, it is just past Killeen, Texas, Georgetown. It's currently on the footsteps of Austin.
Yep.
And,
I see that.
Yeah.
Right there, Kerrville, Austin, Kerrville. I'm trying to like make a line with it, but Killeen, Kerrville, Austin. It's already come through Corsicana. It's already. I think it's come through Tyler. I think it's right coming through Lufkin. I think maybe.
Currently, it seems like it is still about 50 miles to the northwest of Lufkin.
Okay. Yeah.
Because as you can obviously see, the difference between the direction of wind. So places like Jewett has just received that northern wind. Austin is starting to see a little bit of that.
And tomorrow is going to be really freaking cold.
Indeed. So most of Texas, it'll be actually basically northern Texas is not even going to get above freezing. The warmest parts of Texas will of course be the southernmost parts of Texas. Even they won't be reaching anything above maybe 50 degrees.
Yeah, like
maybe
Galveston, it might reach 50 degrees, I think. Maybe 49 to 50 degrees in Galveston.
Yes.
Brownsville might get in the mid-50s. I don't know what the high temperature for Brownsville is tomorrow. Oh, wow.
Brownsville will be 58 tomorrow.
58.
Because they will not be affected by the front as much.
Yeah. North of Brownsville, a little bit. Because the winter storm warning does not actually extend all the way down to the very tip.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah, it does not include Brownsville. Come on. Pretty insane just to see the fact that there is in fact a winter storm warning right now. I'm curious, are they gonna extend this eastward at 7 o'clock? Not the winter storm warning, maybe the winter storm advisory. I don't know.
I don't think so because the temperatures over in that area are going to be too warm for any kind of development like that.
True. Yeah, because I think they're going to have it's gonna stick to the ground down there.
They're expecting a half an inch to a whole inch. Yes, so. As for that severe thunderstorm warning northeast of Lufkin, it looks like it has it had a brief intensifying moment, and it just seems like it's kind of just staying at the same pace. We're just waiting on if they decide to extend that severe thunderstorm warning.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I thought there was going to be a hail core that went right over my house when I got home, but it was just an incredibly heavy amount of rain. Now, it might have been a hail core, but it may not, the hail might have actually melted, a part of the way through the atmosphere as it reached the ground.
Because you have to, because by the time their radar reaches about even 50 miles away from the radar spot, it's only scanning about maybe it's only scanning about maybe 1,000, 2,000, maybe even 3,000 feet up in the air, so they're not actually getting a 100% on the ground read. So most of these are based off of in the middle of these thunderstorms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The one at school right before I left, I think that one probably came all the way to the ground, because it seemed like the hail core was from the top of you could see all the way from the top, almost all the way to the bottom.
I do believe that there was possibly maybe pebble-sized hail during that storm.
It was very light. Now, if it's a very heavy thunderstorm, a very severe thunderstorm, it would be turquoise.
Also, I don't want to forget that. Hold on. Let's see here. All right, there are flood warnings in Mississippi, a little bit in Arkansas, also in Alabama.
Where are you looking at?
Alright, so it's just over in Mississippi, Alabama area. There are some river floods that are causing a flood warning at the current time. They are not being rained on at the moment, but they have potential to continue flooding over their banks if they are not already.
Oh wow, that's not good. Yeah, that could be bad. Wow, yeah, I see what you're saying. Flood warnings. And it's generally near lakes and rivers. Really not a whole lot more to talk about. I'm pretty sure we've covered pretty much everything. So as you can see, tonight's low temperatures, this was literally updated at 4:36 a.m. over 12 hours ago. 28 degrees in Keeling, 35 degrees in College Station, 34 degrees, 38 degrees in Huntsville, 40 degrees in Livingston, 42 in Conroe, 43 in Spring, 44 in Sugarland, 45 near Lake Jackson, 50 degrees in Galveston, 45 in Beaumont, 40 in Town Bluff. So, if you're north and northwest, generally, you're going to see the mid-30s, possibly the upper 20s if you are, near Austin or Keeling or Waco. You're probably going to see freezing. But if you're near southeast Texas, the Houston area, Galveston, you're going to see the mid to low 40s or mid to upper 40s, possibly low 50s. If you live right along the immediate coastline, Galveston, Taramar Beach, Lake Jackson, you may even see the mid to upper 40s are likely. But generally, I think the farther inland you are, tomorrow evening and the later hours, if it happens, right now, even though it's literally only 24 hours away or so, we still don't know if it's actually going to happen, because we don't know, is this going to set up 100% or not. We think it is. Some of the models are showing it is. Right now, we can't guarantee that there's going to be sleet, snow, or a mixture of wintry precipitation late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening into the early hours of Friday.
kind of to mention some of the other things that I have not gotten to yet. Over in Montana, in the northwestern Montana, northeastern Washington, central Washington, and it looks like eastern and southeastern Idaho into. Those are special weather statements. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at these over here at wind. There's weather winter advisories up there. There's some in Colorado, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, some high wind watch. Let's see. See what towns are in here. And some of these places are indeed still getting snow at the current moment. So you'll probably see these the snow drift. Yeah, as I zoom in into this high wind watch, there's not really much over here in the Wyoming. Maybe Elk Mountain, that's about it, in this high wind watch in Wyoming.
Now, what I'm worried about, it shouldn't happen at all, because it's not going to stick for us. Now, down in Corpus Christi, Laredo area, it could stick. I'm a little bit worried about power outages in south central Texas, a little bit, because literally a few weeks ago we had a cold front, and I think ERCOT was a little bit concerned about having power outages. Now, God forbid there's another power outage problem, and people shouldn't freeze to death, because we're not going to really even see the single digits. But
we're not even expected to see anything lower than maybe even 25.
I don't know why I said single digits. I meant to say the teens. No, we're not going to see
not even. Yeah, not even teens. The lowest we should see is about the mid 20s in those south southern
Texas. Yeah,
the south central regions. But yes, of course, up in the north. The north end of Texas, yes, you should be able to experience those teen temperatures.
Yes, those farther up north, certainly, like in Dallas, I think at one point they're now predicting a low of 21 degrees. I don't know what day that is. That will be Friday, a high of 45 and a low of 21. However, it will be sunny. I don't think they're going to see wintry precipitation. Thursday is going to be partly cloudy. I think a majority of the winter precipitation is going to linger, or not linger, but it's going to be in the south central part of Texas and possibly southeast Texas. Some models are even pushing as far east as south central Louisiana. So Louisiana and Texas are the areas that could certainly see this wintry precipitation.
However, for the south central region of Texas, I do not see any wintry mix, anything outside of San Antonio. Houston should be out of this wintry mix for this system, and there will be a pocket of warm enough air to keep it from being. There will be a pocket of warm air around Houston to keep it from having wintry mix.
Yes, and
it also does depend about the wind chill, because the wind chill can affect that type of stuff.
Oh wow, yeah, the wind chill. That's not the National Weather Service. Wind chill forecast. Wind chills farther up north. So this is gonna be Friday morning. Farther up north, it's saying 18 degrees, and as I said, Crockett. 21 degrees near Madisonville, 19 degrees in Huntsville, but in the Houston area, about in the mid-20s, 25 degrees in Houston, 24 degrees in Sugar Land, 24 degrees in Spring, along the immediate coastline, Lake Jackson, 25 degrees, Galveston, 27 degrees, Anahuac, 21 degrees, farther west, near Columbus, 22 degrees. Caldwell, 17 degrees. College Station, 19 degrees. Tomorrow, or Saturday morning, it will be much colder. So 17 degrees in Madisonville. These are the wind chills. So, 18 degrees in College Station, 21 degrees in Columbus, 22 degrees in Wharton. So, a little bit colder. Saturday morning than Friday morning.
So think that covers basically everything.
Yeah, that pretty much covers everything at the moment.
Let me just double check for anything, any developing severe storms. There is still that special weather statement heading to the northeastern part of Houston. And no further update on the storm northeast of Lufkin.
Yeah, that's really gonna be it. That's me for today, guys. If you have any more questions, feel free to email me at hurricanewatchteam@gmail.com. Tomorrow afternoon, probably tomorrow evening, I'll be doing more live coverage of this winter storm, possible winter storm in South Texas and Southeast Texas if that occurs. But I will see you tomorrow. With all that being said, peace out.